Hey, what's up, Hot Garbage Squad? Today we are going to play some RTA, but a little bit different. As you can see right here, I already used 11 wings, and instead of playing RTA, I'm going to show you my replays because I think I tend to play better off stream because I don't have to interact with the chat as much, but also by doing this, it's a little bit different. I've done this a few times already. This way I can provide you some analysis, whereas when I do it live, I can't talk as much as I can. So when it says 11 hours here, if you go to, let's say, your best replays, it'll say 15 hours. So the 15 hour means, for those who don't know, it's like a fresh replay, and then it counts down from there. So this replay is 11 hours ago, which actually means I played these matches 4 hours ago. So starting with the first match, I think it was a little bit unique here. He stole the Bastet. And I'm not going to go into it too much because I lost in the draft phase, but I'll still let you guys watch it because I'm not the type of person that filters all my losers out and then just put my wins in, because like realistically not every team wins 100% here, right? So when people take the Bastet, I tend to draft the Vanessa Triana. It's a very good counter cleave, but for people who are very pay to win and they can draft a like they have this unit right here, like this boosted unit right here. Like if you have a Nephthys, you can get a really boosted RTA rank because it allows you to play very differently, or like control style or cleave, right? So I think what I should have done here was actually let the Bastet through and use the Juno to use her skill 2 to land dots on the team to do more damage, but also use Juno to heal off the segment and the Okeanos. And then the Triana with the Bastet buff will be doing a lot of damage, so the ban should have been the Julie here in this scenario, I think. And just let the Barbara try to truck the Triana or the Vanessa because I have a passive down. So I think I misbanned here, but also I think I locked in the Velajewel and the Juno a little bit too hard because that had 3 fire monsters, and which led me to lose there. So if I were to change that, like, you just don't expect this unit. Well, I guess you should expect this unit because when you're playing at a higher level, all there is ulting that 5s, okay? And then if you guys watched my previous RTA video, it was just pure bad luck, and it just like tanked in ranks, okay? So whenever the people pick Thor, it's very safe to first pick these 2 monsters. And whenever they pick a speed lead, very safe to pick your own speed lead, which is a Garo, and then your last DPS. So when you have a last pick here, you can pick a speed lead or go for a Julie for more damage here. So in this scenario here, there's no point in me banning the Sierra because I will always, even if he gets first turn, I'm on the concept of having no will runes. So let's just say in this scenario, I don't have a Garo, it's a Lucian. He will most likely take first turn because he's like Gianna and a Sierra. But does it matter if his Gianna gets first turn? No, right? That's why I can ban the way I did. And then ban the Abelio because the Abelio literally counters my whole team. And the moment I shred the Gianna here, he has no control to strip me, and my Garo can go a little bit crazy here. So sure, he missed the sleep here, but he's going to target me anyways, and I'm also stunned here. So end of the day, his sleep missing was not a big deal. But what is a big deal here is landing the debuffs, and then when you land a debuff, your Garo is going to go for the one that got defense broken. That's not water usually, because if you don't do damage, you don't heal essentially with Vampire, right? So here we are. Gonna kill off the Sierra here, do tons of damage. Boom, 1 shot, and we're heal full HP. Alright, and then we face him again. And when I get first pick, if you get first pick, you have to draft your speed leads accordingly here, right? My last 2 picks here are going to be a speed lead here. If I know right here, if I had will runes, okay? If I had will runes here, you have to pick double speed lead to contest the Gianna speed. But because I don't have any will runes, I can let him have first turn. I really don't care if he gets first turn with his Gianna, right? So I found a lot more success at a high level placing no will runes on my Bastet. I've tried both, and the amount of times I faced Gianna versus a Leo, I face more Giannas than Leos. Like, believe it or not, I do. So I banned the Leo here because the Leo is the monster that counters my whole team. Leo, if he takes the attack bar on my Bastet, I won't get first turn here, right? And I was pretty confident that he'll ban my Lucian, because if he doesn't ban my Lucian, his whole team just is gone because it ignores it, right? So if the Shimate fluffers down, the Abelio will not heal the team. So that's the reason why I didn't ban the Abelio, but Abelio is a very good counter, because if the Lucian goes first, or if the Julie goes first and does enough damage, it's going to trigger the Abelio, heals back up attack bar, and it's basically GG for you here, right? So I think at the draft, it was very, very crucial that he didn't ban the Shimate, because if he banned the Shimate here and I banned the Leo, I get first turn, I Lucian him, his Abelio goes, and then his Gianna gets attack bar, and I'm basically dead, right? But you can't, like, he has to, like, think about it. If I don't ban the Lucian and he bans the Abelio, I just die, right? All right, next match here. Can I show my Lucian? I have a RTA video with my Lucian stats with no artifacts. All right, first pick with the speed lead. So when they pick Red Jet, you kind of expect a Velodual defense type of team. And in this team here, Garo can take on the Bulldozer. Not scary. But what is scary is the Leo. Because like I said, I don't have Will Runes. If I don't have Will Runes and the Leo gets through with the Lucifer, it kind of means GG for me. So what I'm going to do here is draft double speed lead, ensure I get first turn, and ban out the monster that stops me from getting first turn, which is the Leo. But if you have Will Runes on your Leo, I mean on your Bastet, you can probably just ban the Lucifer or something else. But so he bans my Draco, and the Draco is commonly the ban because Draco tends to be faster than Bastet because of base speed, right? And what I did wrong here was this was on Nemesis. What Jet was on Nemesis, which allowed him to cut in and then blow me up here, right? But like I said, Garo has solo potential. There's no multi-hitters outside of this Bulldozer. Unless your Garo is very, very squishy with like negative HP, the Bulldozer will slap you once and then slap you again and then kill you, right? But the Garo has a lot of kill potential in this team here, right? The next one, I believe, if I recall this one, C3 Police. But also that's why Leo Lucifer is not super good in RTA, because it needs both setup for it to work, right? Here I'm gonna drop a Garo Lucian here, because you see speed lead, you match speed lead with speed lead, and then I pick another speed lead, right? Because he has it's so fast here, right? You have to contest speed with speed. And the reason why I banned the Vanessa over the Triton is because there's two ways to think about it. Some people put their Tritons on leftover sets and they're not as fast. And then by banning the 33 speed lead and their fastest set is on Oki, it eliminates their first turn opportunity. However, if they actually put a good set on their Oki and they have a 24 speed lead and you ban the 33 lead and you don't ban the Triton. I mean that was confusing, but if you got what I meant there, the Triton with a 33 speed lead or 24 speed lead with the fastest set will outspeed a 33 and your Draco, for example. So I happen to be faster than him here, and keep in mind here, very, very key note. If I didn't defense break him, the potential of killing him would have been a lot less here. So when you don't have Will Runes, you open yourself up to opportunities like this where you land a defense break and Shimate skill 2 just blasts their team, right? So this is where Shimate does very, very well. If I didn't have defense break, I probably wouldn't have fluffered him down enough to wipe out his Triton, and I would have had to use single target damage to control the strippers. All right, next match here. Next match. So this one, I believe it was a very, very tough match here. Bastet Draco, and then we see Molly here. So here, I panicked a little bit. I drafted a fat Lucian here because I'm letting the Leo through, and I banned the Masha. And I banned the Masha because my fat Lucian here, because how Leo works is attack speed of the units here, right? So if he decreases the attack bar on my Bastet and my speed, and then so let's do this. Let's say he banned my Draco. If he bans my Draco and his Leo reduces the attack bar on my Bastet, my fat Lucian will never get a turn. So that's why I banned the Masha here. But in this scenario here, we see his Leo, and again, this is why having a Will Bastet is good. Reduced my attack bar. I didn't get the random attack buff here, and now I'm about to do negative damage. Didn't even land the bomb. If I landed the bomb, I probably wouldn't have killed him anyways, but I was really relying on the resistance from the Bastet, because it awakens to resistance, right? If I recall correctly. And then if I had the attack buff, I think I would have wiped his whole team, because this was the Lucian that he was going up against. It was this Lucian, not this Lucian. And this Lucian does a little bit more damage with the 40 additional crit damage. So that's the reason why I did it that way. But it was obviously a misplay or a misban here, just based off what he did there. All right, next match here. Yeah, typically people don't run high accuracy on Leo. So the resistance chance, I think it's pretty good. So like you said, when you see a Thor, just pick these two monsters and you match speed lead with speed lead, and you pick another speed lead and you ban their fastest speed lead here. So the reason why I picked a Samoth over a Shimate is because he's so heavy on the fire side. But also, this is like a thought. I'm not sure if it's like, if you guys think this way, but this is how I think about it. If I draft the Shimate instead of the Samoth here, they're more likely to ban out like the Draco, for example. But if I pick a Samoth here, you're more inclined to might be to ban the Samoth if you want to play a speed game. And if you don't ban the Samoth and you ban one of my attack bar buffers, now I have a 33 speed lead, which means I guarantee myself to outspeed your team here, right? And then I get the random attack buff on the Lucian, which is fantastic. But even if I don't get it, right? Even if I don't get it, my Samoth and my Garo, I think would have enough damage with the reset potential and like the lack of multi-hit. You kill the Okeanos, there's no multi-hit, and I think I would have done just as well, but a little bit more tough if I didn't get the random attack buff here. Alright, next battle. But seriously, that random attack buff is a lifesaver. Like, don't get me wrong, that was some good RNG with the random attack buff there. Alright. So this, again, another defense-based composition. Garo match speed lead with speed lead. And here I have to draft another speed leader to match his double speed leads here. So what I'm going to do here is, like I said before, you ban their fastest speed lead to ensure that you get first turn. Because if I don't ban the Vanessa here, right? What if that's a Swift Barbara? Swift Barbara with a 33 speed lead will outspeed my team that you see on the playing field, right? So in this scenario here, I have to ban 33 speed lead of Vanessa with a Switjat here, and then go first. So here we go. I didn't need to use skill 2 on the Draco to land defense break here, because if the Juno is on Nemesis or Revenge and I trigger any of them, my Lucian will not get a turn, right? So you see how he revenged right here, but I have double attack bar buff, which means the Juno won't cut me, but the Barbara was on Nemesis, right? And that's why he cut in. I'm not sure why he didn't go for the Lucian, try to strip it, but I think if he did that, I probably would have lost because I wouldn't have the attack buff here. So I think he misplayed here, and that's how I won. But in these matchups, they're very, very difficult, and it relies on a lot on the ban phase, but also the draft here. So I think that one, what I could have done also was maybe pick a Samoth as my last pick here and ban the Vanessa as well. That way I have a water threat against 2 fire, but also if I die with Samoth, I can just kill off this Barbara right there. So a little bit lucky there too. So like I said, I feel like I oftentimes go on big win streaks, but then you go on big fat lose streaks. All right. Whenever they first pick a Gammy in the first rotation, it screams Swift to me. Like that's for me, it's Stream Swift, right? And because his base speed is so high, I had to pick a Samoth here. And like I said before, whatever stops you from getting first turn, you kind of have to ban it unless you play a little bit risky. And if I had a good example, I'll show you what I mean. But I ban out the Leo, and if this is a Swift Ganymede here, if it is a Swift Ganymede, I will still potentially get first turn with my 33 speed lead. If it was with a Shimate instead of Samoth, I'd be less confident, but here we see he's not on Swift, and then he's basically I mean, he's basically dead here, right? 1 Lucian Amp, GG here. Because he's playing for this first turn rotation there. So his ban was on the thought of Draco is faster. If I get first turn with my team, I win, right? Here we go. Next match here. Draco Bastet, right? And then you pick Speed Lead here. Pick Garo and Lucian here, right? Very, very standard. And then I pick a Vanessa. The reason why I pick a Vanessa here is because Swift Lauren, base speed's higher. Swift Triton, you already know his base speed, right? So the way he banned, like I said before, people tend to ban the Draco because he has a higher base speed, and then he technically goes first, right? Or in theory, he should go first because it's a higher base speed. But I draft the Vanessa to match the 33 with 33, and I ban his 33, and because I got Garo 30 lead, Vanessa 30 lead, either way, I will have a 30% speed lead, right? So he just bans the fastest monster on my team, which makes sense here. And then I end up getting first turn here. If he bans my Lucian here, I think it would have been tougher, but not impossible. Because if I got my Draco here instead of the Lucian, I can still land a defense break on the Vanessa and then one-shot something. I'd probably try to defense break the Triton, try to one-shot it, or try to stun it with the Garo here, but pretty standard Lucian play here. He plays for first turn, I play for first turn, and that's how it ends up here. And the last match is Mr. Fat. I think this one I was on the edge of my seat here because a little bit RNG. This is some new technology stuff. When they draft the Molly, I do not like drafting the Lucian into it because it's so degenerate. And I draft the Okeanos and Sekhmet because he's got a lot of passive units, right? So by having a lot of passive units, I can just reset it. I reset the Tyrannus first because I want to try to just blow up the Vanessa. Didn't get it, but it's okay. Like the Vanessa, I feel like the Vanessa revive is just less, like, because Tyrannus gives defense buff when he revives too, right? So that's pretty huge. You do less damage. Whereas Vanessa can just revive a monster at low HP and then perfectly fine here. So my Sierra is dead. Didn't do anything. But keep in mind here, I got a lot of damage from the Sekhmet. My Sekhmet is built on a crit damage build, so it does a lot of work. But also, Sekhmet and Bastet, if you have enough accuracy on it, you're able to land heal block. If you land heal block on multiple units, it makes the Molly's life a lot tougher, right? It makes it really, really tough here. And I'm not even going to bother working on this unit because I can't even break the shield. So what I'm going to do here is kill off the Vanessa before she gets to revive off and use my Sekhmet just to control the Tyrannus here with skill 3 here. And it's pretty beefy here. And my Vigor is on crit damage, so it does a lot of work here. And boom, it's dead. Nice bond for the heal. And then he will have skill 3 up shortly, right? Like his cooldown is back faster than my cooldown here. I think just due to violent procs, right? And the moment I can control him with a skill 3, it's good, right? And keep in mind, if your skill 3 on Sekhmet misses, you get it back. And that's why I think Sekhmet for control is better than Okeanos. Because the moment your Okeanos uses skill 2 and it misses, it literally doesn't do anything anymore, right? You can't use skill 3 because the whole team is on will. And it's just trouble after that, right? So I'm really liking the Sekhmet over the Okeanos for teams like this would have a lot of passives. Just because if you miss it, you get it back. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you learned something and like this format. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video.